Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Welcome to Research Colloquium 2022 organised by Intan. I'm Noor Aishah Haji Hassan from MPC, Malaysia Productivity Corporation, and I did my study at I feel very honoured to be one of the presenters in this colloquium. So today I will speak about my study on antecedent and outcome of integrated internal audit management, or in short I call it as IIAM effectiveness in certified Malaysian manufacturing firm. This study would like to gauge whether the integrated audit can contribute to the business sustainability in Malaysian manufacturing firm. If you look at our government policy back in year 2009, Malaysia formulated the new economic model, which further cemented Malaysia's commitment to pursue sustainable development based on three pillars, namely high income, inclusivity, and sustainability, which mirrors the three elements of sustainable development goal, namely economy, social, and environment. Let me begin. This is my table of content. Okay, let me start with chapter 1 on introduction. According to Kara-Petrovic and Wilburn 1998, Integrated Management System, or IMS, can be referred as the interconnected processes which present more effective management system. And according to Audit and all 2014, through integrated audit, it also can save time, reduce bureaucracy, and save human, technical, and financial resources as well. If you look at this diagram, according to Kimmel 2015, integrated audit is fall under integrated management system. So what is the problem? In this problem statement, I would like to highlight 4 justifications why I'm choosing this topic to be studied. First, there are many studies about MS audit, management system audit. However, studies about audit integration, be whether it's internal or external, are much sparse, and contribution in this direction are very much needed. Second, internal audit effectiveness can be seen through the coverage audit area, auditor capabilities, and audit frequency. Third, in Malaysian context, a critical success factor of IMS, or in my study I call it as IIAM, has been studied. However, these factors are not related to any theories govern that whole IMS initiative. And last but not least, the integration of sustainability and IMS approach is inadequate. Not much study to adapt current MS practices and tools to better align with business sustainability. That's why in my study, I would like to further deep dive on these variables. Okay, based on the problem statement that I mentioned just now, I have come up with the RQ and RO. Okay, among my RO is first to examine the relationship between antecedent factors and IIM effectiveness. Other than that, to examine the relationship between IIM effectiveness and business sustainability. And also, I would like to investigate the mediating role of internal audit process in the relationship between antecedent factors and IIM effectiveness in Malaysian manufacturing firm. Okay, now let me move to chapter 2 on literature review. Okay, in literature review, I will discuss one by one what are the antecedent factors that can affect the outcome. There consist of internal and external factors, and in general, internal factors consist of resource and resources expertise. Meanwhile, for external factors, focusing on stakeholder involvement and coordination. In this study, I also conducted content analysis based on 37 main articles related to my study. So from content analysis, I have identified the high cited factors for internal and external respectively. The top 3 of internal factors of human resources, technology, and quality capabilities. And for external factors are consist of customers, suppliers, and regulators. And to ensure these factors are workable, these factors were validated by industry during my preliminary study. Okay, since my study on integrated internal audit, let's look on the audit process where it can be defined as planning, conducting, report writing, and following up the action. This audit process can lead to the effectiveness of control system in the organization. According to Michael and all 2017, integration of Quality Management System QMS, Environmental Management System EMS, and OSHA's Occupational Health and Safety could minimize the firm performance, could maximize the firm performance, such as business sustainability and effectiveness. Again, to identify which outcome that really practical with my study, I have run the content analysis. From 37 main articles, I found out that business sustainability is one of the firm performance that suit with my study. According to Asif and al. 2010, business sustainability can be referred to the expansion of the corporate perspective, which consider environmental, social, and economic aspects. Based on the literature review also, I've studied the theories that can govern the antecedents and outcome of integrated internal audit management system effectiveness. 3 theories were selected, which are DCT, Dynamic Capabilities Theory, Stakeholder Theory, and Contingency Theory. From the literature review, I have come up with this initial framework. There are internal and external factors that contribute to the IIAM effectiveness and how IIAM effectiveness can affect the business sustainability in the long run. Okay, I have interviewed 4 companies. The selection of 4 companies were based on the criteria, and one of it is firm selected is based on their experience in IIMS audit, or in my study I call it SIIAM, and at least have implemented 2 out of 3 management systems. The purpose of the interview are to confirm the initial framework that derived from the literature review, and at the same time to obtain input from the expert. And for the validation purposes, I have adapted validity and reliability measures from Schneider and al. 2014. And the findings, and among the findings are, first, all firms agree that internal factors can influence IIAM effectiveness. Second, all firms agree that external factors can be one of the motivation factors. And the third one, integrated internal audit has identified as initiative to improve business sustainability. Okay, based on that, I have developed this research framework. In my research framework, it can be divided into 2 phases. If you look at here, internal factors governed by DCT, Dynamic Capabilities Theory, external factors governed by Stakeholder Theory, and the relationship between antecedents and outcome will tidy up by Contingency Theory. Okay, based on the research framework that I have developed just now, I have come up with 5 main hypotheses. Okay, now let me move to the research methodology. Okay, for my study, I have adapted quantitative research. The total population of my study is around 456 companies who actually integrated 2 and 3 management systems. Since the number of population very small, I'm used census sampling, which cover about 439 companies. From the same organization, I required 2 respondents to answer on manager level and also internal auditors. And for data analysis, I use SPSS and Smart PLS 3.0. Okay, the questionnaire developed based on these internal and external instruments. Okay, same goes to the internal audit process and the outcome. And to ensure my questionnaire is understood by the respondent, I have conducted phase validity with 2 groups of people, which are from academia and the industry. Okay, for my pilot study, the number of questionnaire that I developed is about 123 items. Number of pilot study that I conducted, 13. And from 13 respondents, I ran the reliability test and the result as stated here. And I also used G-power to identify my sample size. And with 80% of power, the total number of samples should be required is 92. Okay, now let me look on the analysis and the findings. Okay, I also conducted non-response biotest for late versus early, and also manual versus online. I would say that there is no significant difference between these 2 groups. Okay, by using ANOVA, these are the descriptive analysis for antecedents, which consists of internal antecedent factors, internal audit process, IIAM effectiveness, and business sustainability. Okay, as mentioned before, in my study, I use Smart PLS 3.0. This is the first assessment of reflective measurement for first order construct. Okay, second assessment is on reflective measurement for second order construct. For second assessment is on reflective measurement for second order construct. These are 3 tests conducted, namely composite reliability, CR, convergent validity, and discriminant validity, and the result as stated in the table shown. In my study, I also run HTMT, heterotrait monotrait test, to assess the discriminant validity, and based on the result shown, the confidence interval did not show any value of 1 in any of the construct, thus indicating the discriminant validity has been ascertained. My third assessment is on formative measurement for second order construct. If you look at the table, there are 2 second order construct which are IIM effectiveness and business sustainability. And each of them have several items. If you look at the loading column, for item productivity and economy, formative indicator should generally be retained when the item weight is not significant but has relatively high item loading, for example, more than 0.05. However, there is a special case for social item, as I decided to also be retained in my study, as according to RCIF et al. 2011 and Key et al. 2013 highlighted that business sustainability should encompasses economic, environment, and social aspect. From the assessment conducted, I have come up with the second order measurement model, which is more simpler. And based on the thorough analysis, the hypothesis testing, I would like to summarize that only H1A, H1C, and H1C, H2, and H3 are supported. And for mediation, I would like to conclude that internal audit process has small effect towards HRC, human resource capability, and QC, quality capability, where has large effects on IAM effectiveness and medium effects toward business sustainability. As overall, out of 17 hypotheses, 8 hypotheses are supported and the rest are not. So to discuss further on this finding, let's go to chapter 6. As overall, the finding will be analyzed and compared with the existing literature review to prove and disprove the hypothesis. For this chapter, the discussion highlights the relationship between antecedent factors and IIAM effectiveness, as well as the relationship between IIAM effectiveness and business sustainability performance. For H1, the relationship between internal factors and IIM effectiveness, only H1A and H1C are supported, while H1B, which is on technology, is not supported, as according to Najib et al. 2017. Further described that technological capability does not verify the significant role of technology in increasing organizational performance. For the relationship between external factors and IIM effectiveness, both are not supported. For H2, the relationship between internal audit process and IAM effectiveness, and for H3, the relationship between IAM effectiveness and business sustainability, both are supported. For H4, internal factors, only HB is not supported, as knowledge on IT usage, which is technology, and IT audit have no significant impacts on the rate of integration in company implementing the partially integrated approach. For H4 external factors, both are not supported. As stated by Petroni 2001, many companies are still doubtful whether certification will be realized into improved process and increased performance. As for H5 on mediating effect, I would say that the internal audit process has significant effect on the relationship between internal factors, specifically on human resource and quality capability, and IAM effectiveness. Whereas external factors, which consider environmental pressure and the system characteristic, have no statistically significant influence on internal matters, including the effectiveness of ISO management system. On theoretical contribution, for DCT, there are significant link between HRC and QC, which is this is a new contribution to the theory itself. And for stakeholder theory, this finding actually contradict with the past study finding on the positive relationship. And for practical contribution under Industrial 4.0, a policymaker can use this study to determine sustainable manufacturing practices and how it can contribute to national SDG. And contribution to policy, I would say that during my study, only a small number of companies have implemented the IMS or IAM effectiveness, mainly due to the lack of intention of the company towards sustainability. And as policymaker, we have to investigate why not many companies are willing to adopt the SDG program. And policymaker also should also consider to provide some incentive in order to encourage a company to get certification on IMS, which actually related to economy, social and environment, and at the same time to create conducive environment in the long run for a more sustainable Malaysia. Okay, last but not least, as a conclusion, all my study has some limitation. All study has some limitations, same goes to my study. Okay, this study has small number of population and no database on the company that implemented IMS, and also limited to perception study only and difficult to get feedback as this study adopted multiple respondent approach. And for the future study, researcher may replicate the study in other countries, perhaps can widen the unit of analysis, and perhaps can use DMAC as the process, as the audit process. And to summarize and conclude my presentation, this study found out that internal factors, specifically on HRC, human resource capability, and quality capability have significant relationship between IIAM, Integrated Internal Audit Management, and two indicators of IIAM effectiveness, which is quality and efficiency, created substantial impact on business sustainability, and internal audit process strongly mediates the relationship between internal factors and IIAM effectiveness. Okay, this is my timeline. I managed to complete my PhD less than 3 years. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much.